Well, looks like once again I'm a victim of Steam sales and ended up buying another space game, but luckily this time this game is actually pretty awesome. Now this is a game called Void Destroyer, an indie game made by, once again, one person. This is actually really cool, and I just wanted to take a look at this and give you my impressions and do a bit of a review on this really cool and really unusual title. Welcome to What the Math. Now we're just going to jump into one of the saves I already have, and I'll show you how the game works, and then we'll come back to the menu and I'll show you why you may want to go through this part right here, control mapping, because controls in this game can get really complicated. And looks like we're already being attacked. So here we are in our ship called War Drum. Now this is actually a game that is not just a space simulator. I'm going to show you how this game works in a second, as soon as I reach my new base and establish it there. Yes, you heard me right. I have to establish a base. Now I also have to destroy the enemies here. And I believe this is one of the enemies. He is almost dead. I cannot reach him for some reason. I need to enable my guns. And let's see if I can shoot him down. Okay, Raider destroyed. Alright, so the control scheme, or just controls in general in this game, are actually relatively difficult. There's a lot of buttons you have to remember, and that's because of the scope of this game. So you can kind of see that I'm controlling my ship manually right now. I'm basically flying toward this base right here, and this is a larger ship that I'm in right now. I can actually switch to a smaller ship. Right now, I am going to be flying... What is that? That's a tiny ship. Something called Voitac. And to switch the ships, all you have to do is press V or B, which will actually choose different ships for you. Now, Bonnie, I believe, is a fighter ship, so I can actually switch to that. I can now shoot my guns. Or I can switch back to my original ship by pressing the home button, and this will take me back to my war drum. So that's one thing that's unusual about this game, is that you can actually actively switch ships. You also have the ability to construct new ships and to construct your base. If you press spacebar, you will get this really cool looking map thingy-majiggy. And here, well, obviously your main ship is located here, but you can also just click on any kind of area or any kind of building that you see in the vicinity. Like, for example, we see this, and it will switch you to that particular building, where you can now go into the base. And well, first of all, this is actually how you get resources. This allows you to sort of switch priority of different resources. You also have research, which you can enable. And I believe this also has a shipyard, so I can now construct more Bonnies. So let's construct enough for us to protect ourselves. We're going to have 10 Bonnies flying around. Now, these are simple ships, so we need to try to do some research. You go into research and look at that. There's a new ship we can research. We're going to press the research button. We're also going to go in here and research all of these platforms to give ourselves more defense. And you'll see why, because this is actually a pretty difficult game, and this is a pretty difficult mission. Now, the storyline in this game is pretty simple. You're being destroyed by the aliens and by the enemy, and you have to try to survive. So the story is actually quite rudimentary, but the actual gameplay is pretty amazing. I mean, this is a one-person project. It's a pretty impressive one-person project. Alright, so we have everything going. We can also switch to our fleet here. We get to see all our ships in the vicinity. You can directly switch to a ship, give them orders. You can control your ship using this particular tactical map. I can actually switch to my main. Where's my ship? I can't seem to see it. Anyway, just manually switch to it, and then you can move it to a designated location. And you also have things like building platforms. So I can actually build a gun, which I'm going to do right now if I place it in this location. Now this is actually, after playing for a few hours, I had to memorize all the buttons. And the way I did this is by holding Alt button and then moving the thingy-majiggy here, and then I have to click build now. So one negative aspect, and actually the main reason why this game even has negative reviews, is because of the complexity of controls. Ooh, enemies coming. Enough talk, let's get into battle. We're gonna switch to one of our ships. Give me one of the Bonnies here. Here we go. We're going to switch to Bonnie, and let's go kick some butt. So we're gonna participate in this battle manually, and this is actually why I really like this game, is that it has a really complex space simulator mixed with a relatively complex real-time strategy. And oh boy, this is actually kind of hard to fight. And this is by far one of the coolest hybrid games. I think I haven't actually played anything like it before. I may have actually tried something like it before, but not to this sort of complexity level. And it's ridiculously complex. Even the space battles actually kind of are pretty awesome, I think. I would have to say. Like for example, I can actually disable the automatic controls, and this automatically turns into a Newtonian physics space game. So unless you actually re-enable this, it's actually, your ships are really hard to control. And at the same time, you also have to manage your base, you have to manage your ships, you have to try to defend your ship and your base. And if your main ship, if your war drum ship is destroyed, that's it, you're done. The enemy also has these bigger attack boats, attack ships, destroyers, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, each of them does quite a lot of damage to your base and to your ship as well. So you have to be really, really careful. And if one of your smaller ships gets destroyed, that's fine. You'll just switch to the next ship afterwards. If, however, your main war drum gets destroyed, that's it. It's game over. You have to start from a save game. You have to restart from scratch. You may actually notice that this game even has the sound suppression, which sort of is quite realistic because there's no sound in space. That's why you don't hear any explosions, but you do hear a bit of a sort of a hum when you fire a gun. So your guns do make sound, but it's more realistic in that it's actually it's suppressed. You only hear what your ship produces, not anything else. You don't really hear you know, actual explosions, which is quite realistic. Anyway, so let's switch back to our base. It's got I think it got a little bit of damage it needs to repair, but we need to keep building things. We're going to go here, go into the base, and we're going to try to see if we can build a platform. I would like to build well, I also need a frigate platform. Let's build that as well so we can build better ships and build our new ships called Paris G. I can also, I believe, build... Can I actually build or research a new ship? I think I can. I think I can totally research a new ship. Paris M fighter. There we go. That's what I want. This is it's a much more versatile fighter. Now, in this particular mission, my goal is to actually take this base, take the enemy base, and I haven't finished this mission yet. It's actually relatively challenging. I do keep dying because they will be sending a lot of enemies at me pretty soon, and they will most likely destroy me. But even though there is a strategy element to this game, it is primary basically a space simulator. This is actually a space simulator game with quite a well-developed space simulator model, and I personally actually do like how this person did everything here, how he actually developed the game, and even the graphics, even though they're quite simple. I mean, the cel-shaded graphics make this game look really, really good, at least in my opinion. All right, so let's do some fighting from our bigger ship here. We're gonna try to destroy as much as we can without dying ourselves. And this ship does have really powerful cannons as well, but it doesn't really have any missiles until, I believe, later on. So you can't really do much damage to bigger ships, unfortunately. But you do get gunboats, and that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's try to survive this. Let's try not to die, and we're going to go on attack and try to defeat the enemy right there. We're gonna actually try to attack them in a second. As soon as we produce enough ships, we're going to just combine them into one fleet and try to attack. Ooh, here comes the enemy. I think this game is actually pretty awesome, and I got this for like $6 on sale, and it's totally worth the money. It's definitely worth supporting this game. And what this person is currently working on is actually Void Destroyer 2. It's going to be part 2 of this particular game, where he actually is going to introduce the sandbox model as well, where you get to basically create your own ship and fly around, do whatever you want to do in space, and there's not going to be any particular storyline to deal with, which is actually I think would be really cool to actually play through, because some of these story missions are challenging, and a lot of them are a little bit annoying too, because you'll be dying so much. Oh, this is Yeah, this is how you get to progress your story, by the way. And I don't really know what's going on because I haven't read any of them, and mostly because it's done a little bit too in a very simple way for my taste. But I guess that's you can't have everything, right? This game is not perfect. Obviously not perfect because it does have a relatively negative reviews from some of the bigger game reviewers, but I personally really enjoy this, especially the fact that it has so much to offer. Like, you know, you have the RTS and the space simulator. How great is that? And it's only for $4 to $6, depending on the sale you get. All right, so let's go into shipyard again. We're gonna build. Oh, we can't build any more ships. We have 10 ships already. So in that case, we're going to go on attack. Let's actually see if we can possibly grab all our fighters. All right, too late. They actually attacked us first. Looks like we're back in battle. We're gonna switch to a smaller ship again, and here they come. One thing that I don't really get to show you in this particular video, but that is present in the game, is the amount of ships that can actually fight in the same battle at the same time. And like right now, there's about 30 ships that are going to be attacking us, and there's going to be basically a huge battle in the background there, with my war drum somewhere. There it is, I think. This is somewhere in there being attacked by all of these ships. The actual scale of battles is pretty intense. But what I really like is how diverse this game can be. Like, there's no actual one way of winning anything. And what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to remove these stupid things from my ship because they're going to be slowly destroying the hull. And it looks like it's not really working because, yep, my ship is destroyed. So this is what happens when the ship is destroyed. And it looks like my war drum is dead too. Yep, they destroyed my war drum. So once again, I lose this mission. It's not my first time trying to complete this mission, and I failed again. But essentially, this is what the game is like in a nutshell. And I personally think it's totally worth the money just for the sakes of supporting the developer, but also the fact that he is going to be releasing a better game soon. But this also means that Void Destroyer itself will be relatively cheap for a while, actually. Oh no, I just reloaded from here again. No, that's the part before we die. No. Anyway, so that's basically the game in a nutshell. Definitely give this a try. I'm posting the link for this game in the description below. And if you have any more comments, do post them in the comment box below. Because if you know something else about this game, or if you know how to beat this stupid mission, please let me know, because actually this is hard, and I really enjoy the difficulty and the challenge, but this is pretty hard. And by the way, if you find the mission too hard, you just go in here and look at that. You can actually lower the difficulty just like that. But I'm playing on a hard mode, so I want to try to beat it on a hard mode. So anyway, so this is Void Destroyer in a nutshell. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little review and a little playthrough of this pretty awesome indie game. And hopefully you'll give it a try and support the developer. Thank you, and game you later, guys. Bye-bye.